What's going on? I was out in the front yard taking some pictures, and I thought I would, it's like, hey, I could do a video on this. I've used this lens before, and I've talked about it several times, the Tamron 70-300, but I always say something about the macro feature it has, but I've never actually shown it off. But I'm going to take a few shots of this, so I'm just going to show you how it works. So typically this lens, you have a little switch on here from normal to macro. When you're on normal, the closest focusing distance, as you can see there, that number on top is feet, so right around 5 feet is the closest focusing distance. Now when you're in the 80-300, you could switch it over to the macro mode. So you switch it over that, and that allows you to get even closer, like 3 feet. 3 feet from your sensor, that little line right there is your sensor. So from there, it's just 3 feet. That's how close you could get. It's 1 to 2 macro, so it's not true macro, but it gets you really close and you can get some really good shots. I recommend a tripod because it's really hard to hand hold that steady at 300 millimeters. So that's what I've got set up for here. There's 2 ways you could do it. I did a video on macro before with flowers like this. I'm just going to do it on timer, but the best thing to do with these, since there's a few bees going around, is to get a shutter cable release and go ahead and set up your shot, and then wait for the bee to come if there's a bunch of bees around, and then take the picture, because you'll be chasing these bees all around trying to do it, doing it the way I'm doing it. But I'm just going to get some pictures. If there's a bee in it, that's good. If not, that's all right too. So we're going to go f11 on this with ISO 400, and there it is. So I use that little put in live view and get the little, I like to use the zoom in feature and nail down that focus. That's the way I like to do it. You can see I'm barely touching the tripod and it's doing it. So I've also got it on a 2-second shutter here, so let's take this picture and see what turns out. A 2-second timer, I mean. Okay, you can see the highlights a little blown out there, so I'm going to actually lower this a little bit. Let's see this. Yeah, a little bit better. And that's why I like this this lens. I've had some other 70-300s from other brands, and they might be a little bit sharper, but this one just has that cool macro features, and it's a lot of fun to mess around with.